The thing which is under the kind of hood on this is regulatory arbitrage, jurisdictional arbitrage. The faster your jurisdiction can get into the future, the more you can draw in capital and talent from around the world, the better your economy is, and then there are positive feedback loops in that accelerate you faster and faster and faster and faster. Singapore is the classic example of this. And if you're lucky, you can hold together your nation without too much internal conflict ripping it to pieces. And if you're unlucky, you wind up with massive divisions and the wheels come off and, that was your run. The thing which is happening right now is that the US has basically gone through, in this specific area, something very, very close to a revolution. You're not in a position where people are running around in the streets just randomly changing laws for the sake of it, like after the French Revolution. But you are looking for a situation where the entire US establishment was dead set against crypto, and then crypto basically bought itself a presidency, huge campaign finance donations to Trump, and then they rewrote the rules. And in all probability, 15 years from now, that will be seen as being one of the best things that American democracy ever managed to do, because we firmly expect crypto finance to massively outperform legacy finance. There's every reason to think that that's economically efficient, and the fact that they kind of bought their way to the table on that. Nice to have a democratic framework which is flexible enough to do that, because if you don't have a democratic framework that's flexible enough to do that, you wind up with MICA, right? Or even worse, you wind up with the UK FCA regime. So, I want to really frame this as being able to buy political representation can be economically efficient. And at the end of the day, when we start talking about sovereignty and democracy and all the rest of that kind of stuff, if you lose badly enough economically long enough, you wind up as a vassal state, you wind up in a position where you are controlled by somebody else, and the UK is rapidly in the process of being eaten by America as American corporations do more and more and more of the actual heavy lifting of operating the state. Similarly, Chinese folks when it comes to things like nuclear power stations in the UK. Sovereignty is not just about maintaining, sterile, clean, white glove democracy. There are times when you have to figure out when to break the rules to get into the future, because the rules made in the past and the political alliances made in the past may not have the flexibility to propel you to where you're going. And what America essentially did was forked itself on crypto finance without actually winding up with people burning cars in the streets. Extremely impressive. Much as if you're inside of America, it looks kind of dirty and shady. At the end of the day, would you rather have a functioning economy with an occasional dirty and shady flash, or would you rather have the sclerotic destruction of the EU?